Well, 2 people died on the spot, while many others sustained severe injuries when a Toyota Land Cruiser collided head-on with a Hyundai H100 at Nankese Ningo on the Koforidua-Suhum Highway Sunday evening. The Hyundai H100 with registration number GT413009, which was traveling from Suhum to Koforidua, was said to have overtaken another Hyundai H200 and collided head-on with a Toyota Land Cruiser with registration number GT216911. The Land Cruiser was traveling from Koforidua to Suhum. A traumatized eyewitness who gave her name as Enyonam said the Hyundai vehicle was traveling at top speed. Residents and Good Samaritans had to cut through the mangled vehicles to rescue the injured. Personnel of the Suhum Ghana National Fire Service and the ambulance service were unable to rescue the driver of the Hyundai H100 and a female passenger who were trapped and were unable to be rescued by the public.
The school, since its construction in 1946, has been using this mud-thatched building as classrooms until 2003, when an NGO constructed this additional 3-classroom block. The school does not have electricity and lacks some facilities like a library, computer laboratory and staff common room for teachers. Not only students are being affected by this situation, teachers here have also improvised a staff common room where they also operate from.
Oh, the situation actually is affecting us because anytime at all it rains, we have problems. We have to move from here to the either veranda or elsewhere. Sometimes we have to vacate school because of the situation. So it's affecting teaching and learning a lot.
The foundation for another classroom block has also been abandoned by the contractor for a year now. The old mud building, since its construction, has seen no renovation and has developed several cracks. A heavy downpour a year ago saw the roofs caved in, preventing further use of the structure. Though authorities say they have reported the issue to the Ghana Education Service, the building has not been attended to.
We have informed the District Directorate of Education, and to the best of my knowledge, they have also informed the District Assembly. Up to date, nothing has been done.
With the current situation, the school, with a student population of 230, has been forced to hold some of its lessons in one of the neighboring schools. Teachers have to walk from their school compound to other schools, reducing the lesson hours. This is one of the combined classrooms for the St. Chiferi Senior High School. The class is so congested and the place is so hot that students would have to be fanning themselves, disrupting their attention from what the teacher is teaching them.
The room is too warm and is full of heat. The students suffer. They sometimes use their books to fan themselves for fresh air. So we suffer. Please, the Minister of Education to help so that we get a good infrastructure for the school.
So students of the St. Chiferi Methodist Junior High School always wish that closing time would come early for them to go out of these warm classrooms which they battle out for daily. All they are hoping for is that one day the infrastructure problem of the school would be solved. They are pleading to government and benevolent societies to come to their aid. Yafosia Jemfi, Joynews, Senchi.
The International World Water Day, among others, is to remind people about the significance of fresh water and also to promote sustainability for freshwater resources management. But access to fresh water in some parts of Ghana's capital, Accra, remains a big challenge, as many residents often have to travel long distances in search of the resource. Residents in the Atani municipality, for example, have to spend between 60 and 100 Ghana cedis a week in search of water.
The supply in the Atani municipality has been a major challenge over the last decade. Residents here have either limited or no access to pipe-borne water. As a result, they have to depend largely on tanker services.
And the tiller is about 200 for the type of barrel I use. And it's very hectic. Sometimes the water they bring is purely salt, and they say it's from the sea. And it's embarrassing, because the same water that we use to flush our toilets and to do other things. And it has not been easy for us. A week is 400, that is 2 times. So if you multiply that by the monthly distance, it's very hot, a quillion. So sometimes we also go off, because if there's no money, you cannot go for water.
How do you get water?
We buy it from the polytank people. They come around. If you need them, they call them. Sometimes. I think 60 Ghana.
Others say the supply is not regular, as they have to wait for days to get water from the tankers, a situation which also affects business.
Last week we be a deal. It's not her, am I? Me brepa because offer polytank and not a my. That's all call her when you be. Yet to be so was so put to copy. This is me fa dear co a hop. And son, I mean, biasa. The many be a baby at the nest as I than me.
Knowing the high demand and scarcity of water in the area, others prefer to dig boreholes in their homes.
Because of the water problems, we dig this well and then we are fetching and giving individual houses free. But these people, because they are going to sell, I sell for them.
One of the most vibrant businesses in the municipality is the water supply business. Taking advantage of the water crisis in the area, Okocha, who has been in this business for the past 20 years, says he supplies almost 7 homes in the area each day.
Actually, start a different no kucha ko ina. Alama. Tanamo kwa example wa kucho fiaji, emoko ba denta fiaji adobi ami ko na 180 plus 150. Akano usbo to makucho ka faka ava ide botwe target wa kula madina ko mi ko na 20 Ghana. Bon me mete va jeni awo nyebo do kushito we dava manya papo nyado akanya mi tenu fukban anu fukban mi tenu chire kata vo ka ba 3 hours 4 hours na fia po chire ka bia ku aba ko yin na amu yon papo de pressure yo akaba.
With water being such an essential commodity and a major input for industries, addressing the supply challenges in the country will be the greatest hope as International Water Day is observed on March 22. Matilda Pamaga for Joynews.
A 6-year-old Ezekiel has been living with hernia for more than 5 years because his mother could not afford a 200 Ghana cedi surgery. The cost of surgery and recuperation is now estimated at 800 Ghana cedis. Meanwhile, Ezekiel has been missing out on education because of his condition. Seram Ablade Souza has more.
Ezekiel is not enjoying his childhood. Hernia is gradually stealing his life away. The condition has rendered him antisocial, and he has also been missing out on education.
Yeah, 1 year no. And then no Daniyem. Jordaniyem na yemene dura sir na and then osani wanishun.
He could not speak about his condition, but his tears spoke volumes. The boy's mother, Emilia, can barely provide for the needs of her family because the profit she gets from selling sachet water is not enough.
Menena kwa hospital no kacha no bajim 2.2 na misidam dia miniska na sidam da sa miniska dia menena mbla na mbe ne height na menena nko.
She has also lost her husband, and making ends meet is proving to be difficult. Surgeons say a simple surgery is all that is required to make Ezekiel bounce back to normal life.
This is a hernia which was there at birth, and this is a congenital hernia hydrocele in children. The approach is almost the same through the inguinal region. Yeah. So it can be operated, why not? And the surgery is called, or is what we call herniatomy. Exploration and then herniatomy.
The cost of surgery and recuperation is now estimated at 800 Ghana cedis.
We have to shift our attention to some issues of security, and security has been beefed up at Treponi district in the northern region a day after angry youth attacked the district police station in the community. The irate youth stormed the police station after their colleague fuel attendant was arrested for selling adulterated fuel. One person sustained injuries and with extensive damage to the building and police vehicles. No arrests so far have been made. The Northern Regional Police Commander, DCOP Kenyeboa, told the news team the windscreen of police cars were smashed, louver blades also destroyed in the process. He said one person was hit with a stone and that person has quickly been rushed to the hospital. Public Relations Officer of the Northern Regional Police Command, ASP Ebenezer Tete, told the news team security presence has also been increased in the Treponi district.
We still stay with Security and Defense Minister Mark Wayongo has said that the ban on motorbike riding in Boko will not be lifted soon due to security reasons. He was visiting the area as part of his tour of the Northern Command of the Ghana Armed Forces. Our Upper East Regional correspondent Albert Sori has filed this report.
As part of the tour, the Defense Minister Mark Wayongo paid a courtesy call on the paramount chief of the Boko traditional area, Naba Asigri Asoka Abugrago II, at his palace. He also visited the leader of the Mampusi, Alhaji Bugri, at his home. Speaking to the paramount chief of the Boko traditional area, Mark Wayongo appealed for a cooperation from the two feuding factions in Boko in order to bring lasting peace to the area as the Mampusi faction returns to the Boko Inter-Ethnic Peace Committee.
I'm hoping and I'm praying that as our brothers on the other side say they will come back, then the Inter-Ethnic Peace Committee will start working as a unit. When you start working as a unit and you make a recommendation assuring us that when the ban is lifted, there won't be any problems, we will not hesitate to lift the ban. A briefing with the military personnel in Tamale, and their advice is that we should not lift the ban now. And the argument is that very soon we'll be getting into the rainy season when they plant the millet and it starts growing. That is the time people will ride motors and commit the crimes. They'll start shooting.
Speaking to journalists later, Mark Wayongo threw light on a $200 million loan facility the Defense Ministry intends to procure to enhance the competencies of the Ghana Armed Forces.
We are in the process of securing that loan. It's before Parliament. Until Parliament has approved it, I won't say we have secured it, but I'm hoping that Parliament will will approve it for us because of the important use to which we are going to put that facility. We are going to be buying equipment for our men who are in the UN platforms, Mali, South Sudan, Lebanon, Cote d'Ivoire, everywhere. So it's going to be put to very good use.
We still have to remain in the area as Northern Regional Minister Alhaji Mohammed Lumina Muniru has led a team of NADMO officials in the Sanirego district to access the extent of devastation in a community after a rainstorm wreaked havoc on 3 other communities in the district. Residents of Nashegu, Gumani and Gayemle had their property amounting to several hundreds of Ghana cedis destroyed during the rainstorm.
Some of the properties destroyed include electrical gadgets such as TV set, refrigerators and clothing of the victims. The roofings of more than 56 houses and classroom blocks were completely ripped off. Cecilia Awutoma is the headmistress of Reya Juran Junior High School.
You can see that the children are scattered because the kitchen self is ripped off, and for that matter, no food for them. You know, in a village school, these are some of the motivations we use to get the children in school. So once we have 8 classrooms and only 3 are available now, I don't know how I'm sharing it among the teachers to teach on Monday.
Northern Regional Minister Alhaji Mohammed Limuna Muniru told Joynews he had instructed the District Chief Executive of Sanirigu to see to the affected victims as soon as possible. The assembly is to provide immediate relief items to the school to be able to roof the classrooms, while NADMO continues with the registration of the affected victims for support.
Disasters are things that you cannot determine. We're actually prepared to have a meeting when information reaches that yesterday's rain caused some havoc. So we decided that we visit the site and see the damage for ourselves. We've gone around a number of schools, public schools, and we've seen some private houses also affected. What we have done is that we deploy the technical people to go in and do the assessment so that they can advise us as immediately as possible so that we see how we can fix them out.
Alhaji Mohammed Limuna Muniru also encouraged residents to take the initiative in planting trees around their compound to minimize the devastation by rainstorms.
The Zongo community in the Central Regional Capital says it feels neglected by the Mahama administration in spite of the massive support it gave the president during the 2012 general elections. Members of the community argue that although the president has visited Cape Coast on 3 occasions since winning the elections, he has not bothered to visit them.
Speaking to Joynews at his residence, the head of the Central Regional Zongo Chiefs in Sakin Zongo, Mahmoud Dandi, expressed the community's utter disappointment in the president following recent developments he says will undermine their well-being. Chief Dande, who doubles as a member of the Gwa Traditional Council, recounted the cordial relationships that have existed between past presidents and the Zongos. He singled out former President Kufuor and the late President Mills, whom he said always interacted with members of the community to find out what their challenges were.
Let's start with His Excellency former President Kufuor. When he was campaigning, he was coming to the Zongo, coming to our community, meeting the chief, meeting the imam, and when he won the election, and many a time when he comes to Cape Coast and he is not able to come to the chief or to the imam, in the evening he sent a vehicle to come and convey them to the Regional Coordinating Council to ask them how were we faring. And then His Excellency President Atani, even when he is in town, at the time when he was alive, may his soul rest in peace. Even when the place there was a gathering, he would just come there, interact with us, and at the end of the day ask us if everything was all right.
According to him, the Zongos want to know how best the president can help improve upon their living standards, as well as address other issues which are of utmost importance to them. He said if nothing is done about their current situation, the Zongo community would have no option than to advise itself when they go to the polls in 2016.
Definitely come 2016, when he comes to us, we shall advise ourselves.
So if you say you will advise yourself, in what sense?
That one, I will rather ask you to patiently wait for the 2016. But if you insist on having an answer, if I say I would advise myself that if the president comes, whether we will give him a listening ear or not is up to us. But then every community has a problem that he would like the president to hear a bit. For example, the president has promised to build 200-day secondary schools in Ghana. And knowing Cape Coast very well, we have very good secondary schools. And if I don't go and lobby, having a chance to meet the president, definitely I will have to lobby.
Other members of the community who spoke to Joynews also expressed their disappointment with the president. Georgina Pierce report from the Central Region.
Clearing of debris at the site of the collapsed and completed hotel building at Atani Boy Town here in Accra has been completed, with displaced persons trying to get back into their structures. But the affected persons complain officials were yet to respond to their needs.
The 6-story uncompleted structure, an extension of the Grand View Hotel, collapsed March 13, killing 1 person and destroying other buildings in the vicinity. Affected persons were asked to relocate as security personnel declared some parts of the area, including some of the buildings around as a disaster scene, and also to pave way for the debris to be cleared from the site. Occupants of the affected houses claim the incident has seriously affected them, as for the past 10 days, their lives have come to a standstill.
I don't work. My husband has taken a leave from his base in Kumasi. And my daughter has been displaced. She can't go to school because we don't have a place to sleep. Can we let her in? So she's with my mother. And I'm not sure whether she can come today.
Nia kwakoda anopa nia baha aya humiti aya humiti pa obi onu ni kunda na ukoda ni nche aya humiti ya titi hwe minya sabio minya kwala ni peni pa aya humiti ye brao.
During a visit to the site by the news team on Sunday, some of the residents were seen constructing their buildings to enable them at least have a place to lay their heads for the time being.
Despite that we were handed over of our domicile place, it was not habitable for us, which implies that we have to do a lot of work here. And unfortunately, we haven't heard or even had any kind of people or group of people coming to our aid in any way, whether from the NADMO, AMA and whatever. I have done several kind of contacts.
Though the debris have been cleared from the site, residents have complained some part of it left affect their movement.
Technically, we don't even have access to our entrance. AMA came here and promised they would come and do whatever. We still haven't seen them or heard anything. NADMO said we should write officially. We have written and asked them to do something. They haven't done anything. So who would come and clear our access route for us? So we are just on our own. Nobody seems to care about what is happening.
We are becoming quite alarmed with the situation, and we don't know what is really happening. Whether everybody has forgotten about us, and so we don't know what to do next. Should we stay with this kind of situation? It was never any fault of ours.
They want city authorities to come to their aid as promised. Yafusia Jemfi, Joynews, Accra.
Engineers who supervise shoddy works may soon have their licensing withdrawn by the Engineering Council in a move to address structural and construction failures in the country. The Water Resources, Works and Housing Minister is expected to soon inaugurate the Engineering Council to ensure standards are adhered to in the construction industry. Water Resources, Works and Housing Minister Collins Dauda said the council will strictly ensure engineers in the country do a good job. Roads Minister Amin Suleimani told Parliament government will no longer accept structural collapse in the country resulting from poor supervision. He noted there should be competent engineers who should study the technicalities of buildings, otherwise Ghana will always have structural failures.
Well, before we take a wrap on the latest news tidbits we have on the AM show, a recap of our top stories.
Well, 2 people died on the spot while many others sustained severe injuries when a Toyota Land Cruiser collided head-on with a Hyundai H100 at Nankesinengo on the Koforidua-Suhum Highway Sunday evening.
Up north, security presence has been beefed up in the Trepone district after angry youth attacked the district police station.
And the lack of enough classrooms for students of the St. Chief Ferry Methodist Junior High School in the Sojaman districts of the Eastern region is hampering quality education. We're told that students are now having to share classrooms with their mates in neighboring schools.
So those are the top headlines we have. The top headlines for sports is up next with Rashida Baba Tando.
And it's brought to you by Cowbell. Stay with us here on the AM show.
We'll be right back.